Here we go.
All right.
Wild times.
All right. We are back. It's so good to be back. Episode number 73, the Wild Times podcast, the wackiest show on the air where we hang out. We talk about wildlife, adventure, nature, what's in the news. We play games, battle royales, DFL, top 3. I butchered that, but you get the point.
He's drunk already.
A little bit. I've been doing some day drinking. I'm in Chicago. They just eat pizza and beer. They don't do anything else over here. That's what I've heard. I have a delightful drink right now, a Space for Everyone beer. It's very nice.
Yeah. I got myself a...
Anyway, this is the Wild Times
Heine.
podcast. I'm your host, the broologist, Forrest Galante. Joining me tonight, not in Chicago, unfortunately, is Retep, the professor of podcasts, PhD in on-air specials. Mr. Retep, how you doing?
I'm good. I want to do an impersonation of Forrest and that intro real quick.
Okay.
Welcome to the wackiest show on earth. Ooh, we do all these fun games. I'm hammered. Cheers.
That's what it sounded like. That's pretty accurate. Okay.
Glad to be
That
here,
sounded like a
gents.
Simpsons
Happy to see ya.
character.
Yeah, it did. All right, moving on from that. The very dapper, the deep-voiced, the bro-ducer, the one and only, Mr.
up,
Patrick DeLuca. Patrick just got back from Arizona. How was that, Patrick?
Oh, it was meant to be a little just relaxing few days, right? Haven't taken a vacation since COVID started. So it was just like 3 days. Let's just relax. Well, I got an animal mystery for you. And I'll tell you the end. I'll tell you the end. There was no relaxing done during my vacation.
Oh, boy.
So booked a house sitter to watch my dog and my cat.
Okay.
Used her twice before. Booked her a couple weeks in advance. Confirmed the night before. Well, at the time that we're getting ready to leave, it's not returning calls or texts.
Perfect.
In
So
the
Nothing like
now-
a flaky
that day?
house sitter.
In the morning, right?
Oh, man.
Now, while we're trying to line someone else up, she calls me. It's like, I just woke up. I can head over right now. Gets over there. I'm like, just
Does
like,
she chain smoke cowboy killers? Is that why her
she's
voice
just like
sounds
talks
like that?
like a slack-jawed surfer.
Okay, gotcha.
Like,
All right.
So anyway, long story short, does a bunch of weird stuff. I have a dog bone that I instructed her to put peanut butter in. Instead, she put it in the mouth of a rubber chicken. Ruined the rubber chicken.
Confusing. Okay.
My television
That
remote,
morning?
just over the course of, it gets
You
weirder.
let this bitch stay. Okay.
Yeah, ate a full sleeve of Pringles that was unopened. Left the refrigerator open. Everything spoiled and ruined.
No way.
Shit.
Took a single A battery out of a remote. Here's the good
No
part.
way.
Yep,
For a vibrator.
possibly. A
Thanks,
day in,
Pep.
on the second day, she did this all in one day. Because on the second day, she texts me in the morning, "Hey, just maybe have a friend fill in for me. Don't think I'm going to be able to do this."
No way.
Oh,
You're kidding.
my
Swear to God.
Who, is this like a service that you
kidding
hired?
me?
It was
Yeah, what
someone
is
I
this?
found off of rover.com, and I'd used her twice, and she was great, so I just texted her directly.
Right.
And
What's her
and I
full
just,
name and address?
Repeater, you can't go over there.
But dude, the amount of time I spent, which I thought would be poolside with cocktails, was frantically pacing around dealing with dog sitting catastrophes.
Oh, dude.
I had no idea
it's
about
so
the remote
stressful.
battery. I mean, that is ridiculous.
That's insane.
Bro, there is nothing worse than dog stress, man. My dog was sick
Dog
for 4
stress.
days last week, just not eating, puking, and you're just like, you're looking up everything. Oh, he's got fucking cancer. He's got MS. Like there's something wrong with him.
He's got
And
Lou
then
Gehrig's.
And then in the back of your head, you're like, I don't want to take him to the vet yet because it's going to cost $1,000. They're going to run all these tests, each one
Minimum.
$300.
Yeah,
and I'm just
for
so
sure.
finally I take
No
him.
question.
They give him some basically dog Xanax, and she's like, give him Peptid AC, and it costs $300. I'm like, great, okay.
What did they diagnose him with? Like nervous Nelly syndrome? Like, what did he need Xanax for? That's making him so
I don't know.
nauseous.
There was no diagnosis. I just they're like, here, do
That's the
this. he'll
best
feel
joke
better.
Patrick has ever told, by the way.
I didn't
What
think
did
it was
you
going to
die?
hit for us.
I didn't hear it because I was
diagnosed with
yammering.
nervous Nelly syndrome. It's the best joke you've ever told.
Hammered.
Dude, a puking dog.
I'm not sober.
A puking dog doesn't typically need Xanax to calm the nerves, or he's
Dude, I'm
thunder
sorry,
and
that's
lightning really
hilarious.
got him.
Well, the thing that really is scary is when the dog won't eat. That's when my stomach starts to hurt.
Yeah,
All right.
that's fruit brute. Well, Forrest,
what happened?
why
What
don't
was
you
it?
get
Hold
us
on.
started?
Before we move
Yeah.
on, what was the upshot of this dog sitting situation?
Oh yeah.
Oh, so I just ended up just calling a friend.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, like, this is a huge favor to ask. Can you just stop what you're doing and go to my house for the next 2 days? And he just literally was like, sure.
No.
And I was like,
that was nice.
Okay.
Was it Ethan?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not doing shit anyways.
Yeah,
That's
but
great.
very nice
Good.
of him. But it was
Good.
just like the way that she just sent a casual text on day 2 of a dog sit and just goes, hey, like, maybe see if you can have a friend fill in. I'm not going to be able to finish up.
Oh my
Right.
god.
Meanwhile,
dude.
this is someone you're paying
asked,
for a service.
can you send a Zelle now for yesterday?
You should have sent her one for 99 cents.
That's insanity.
It's
Wow.
brutal.
Well,
anyway, we're back.
That's gross.
We're all back.
We're
except
back.
Forrest.
All right. So,
we
yeah,
are?
no, I'm here. I never left. Look.
Are you?
There's a lot going on. I've been getting brostener DMs up the yin yang. I mean, just left and right. They're all over the place. One of the biggest DMs that I've been getting, or one of the most common ones that I've been getting, is why aren't you guys in the studio? What WTF, mate, as they say, is going on? And simply put, guys, I'm in Chicago. Okay, Chicago. I don't have a studio here. All right, Papa P's in Arizona, worrying
your
about
fucking
his
pizza and your PBR.
Yeah, I'm over here. Papa P's in Arizona. He's doing his thing. Retep's got Nervous Nelly puppy going on. Like, there's a lot
I'm
going
here,
on.
baby.
So
Yeah.
we're going back to the studio. We're in studio next week, right, guys?
I hope
Should be.
Yeah. We're
it's
back in the
paid up
studio
next
next
Absolutely
week.
week.
Let's get in there. That's how
Everyone's
jerk
back in
sesh.
California. You know, we're still paying for the studio, just so all you brosters know. We're still paying for it. We still got it. It's coming back. But we're just not there at the moment because we're busy, we're traveling,
We'll be
and we
back.
didn't want to miss shows for you guys. So that was a question I was getting, and I figured it was important we addressed it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool that we have a virtual studio still, though. I mean, that we can even do this is still, and that we're fucking experts at this in the virtual studio shit. We're the best people on earth in the virtual studio. We've been doing it longer than anyone, I feel like. So
Why not?
enjoy.
All right, look, at Sam Buffo wrote a DM, and he said, who wins in a cage match, Hippo or lion? Retep, why don't you
So it's important to note that they're locked in a cage,
Retep now.
right?
Correct.
It's let's call it what, 80 square feet.
Yeah, it's an octagon. They're fighting in an octagon.
Okay.
Yeah. Retep,
I
let's
think
go.
they'd both fit in there. I'm going to say Hippo because I absolutely know that that's the answer because I just do. There's no way anything can destroy a hippo. It weighs like 10,000 pounds.
Patrick, what do you got?
I'm gonna go lion actually. And if they're in an
Interesting.
octagon, a hippo weighs at most 4,000 pounds. By the way, I think the nimbleness and quickness of the lion, and its cardio. Right, a lot of times you see a cage match. It's the guy who has the better cardio, especially with bigger guys, wins.
Yeah,
Right?
but you're talking about like a fucking heavyweight going against a featherweight, mate. In that case, I will always take the heavyweight.
But
If
I'm
it's a
saying,
featherweight, that dress.
okay, when you get into heavyweight fights, UFC fights, these guys are oftentimes will be like 230 up to like
Yeah,
265.
they're big guys.
And cardio always comes into play. And this is not a fight till death, right? So I think the lion's cardio over the hippos is gonna outlast him. It's gonna out nimble him. It's gonna take chunks out of his rear end, his legs. It's gonna stay away from the mouth. Lion.
No, I've got this one. Forrest, agree with me immediately.
No,
Let's
look,
move
here's
on.
what I'll say. On first glance, I was like, Sam Buffo, you're a nitwit. Your name should be Sam Buffoon. Don't be so silly.
That's
That was-
bringing back middle school memories for Sam.
Another notch on the insults the brosners.
Yeah, we just lost another one, but that's fine. My point, and let's hear me now. First, I thought you're a buffoon. What a silly question. Obvious hippo. And that's where I agreed with you, Retep. Knee-jerk reaction, obvious hippo. And then I was like, wait a minute. If they are stuck in a small space, basically very similar to what Patrick said, the agility of the lion is what's going to win him the fight because they're stuck in this small space. They're contained. Hippos are very lumbersome, and they're not like an elephant where they sort of have this like graceful ability with their trunk and they can sort of spin around quickly. They're just kind of like a freight train that goes with a big mouth. And I actually think when stuck in the octagon, the lion might win it over time because I don't think the hippo's going to corner him. They're not agile enough. That's my guess. I don't know.
Agreed. And by the way, now can you apologize to Sam Buffo for judging his question too quickly before you thought about it properly?
That's what I'm saying. I'm very judgmental. I have knee-jerk reactions. I thought you were a nitwit, and turns out you're a very, very intelligent person. And I love having you follow our show.
Now at least one fan likes Pat, so that's great.
I just peeped Sam Buffo. He also appears to play lacrosse at Iowa State. Nice. I attempted to play lacrosse in 7th grade and was the worst player on the team and just quit.
I feel like that's the second sport that you've told us about that you quit when you were a
There's
boy.
many more coming.
I got
he was only good at scheming and scamming when he was
scheming and scamming. It was a club, not a sport. Chris McGinnis reached out, said, "Heyo, Forrest Shark Week bros would be swell Wild Times guests and all. But I've got a sense that the real slam dunk of a guest would be 1 hour of Stephen Rockmayel." So for those of you who are new to the show, Forrest and I have talked about Steve. Forrest talks about Steve in his book quite a bit.
I do.
He is the guy who handles all the logistics for a lot of these big outdoor shoots and difficult to get to places. He's a real character. He says everything costs $30,000 or $40,000. Even if you're just like, we need a lobster trap. He's like, it's $40,000.
You're like,
he would
Steve,
be a
I'm
great
looking
guest.
at it on Amazon. It's literally $18.99. But by the time you ship it and you order it and it comes from China, it's around $30,000. We don't have that kind of money.
Steve, if you can ship it here. Now, I got to ship it to South Africa and have someone smuggle it in. That costs $30,000.
I got to meet this guy.
Dude, he's amazing. He's such a character. We do have to have him on the show.
He's constantly having things smuggled over borders where I'm like, I guarantee we could have carried that thing in. Like, he knows more smugglers in Africa than maybe anyone else. Yeah.
Anyone. It's insane. Yeah. And it's all for legal tender. He's like, well, it might just not be safe to fly with the drone. So we'll bring it through the border. And I'm like, is that legal, Steve? I know a guy. And I'm like, that didn't really answer my question.
I can't wait to
will
have
try
him
and get Steve on.
and then have a special rendition of Pat's math for him so he can just spend 45 minutes doing that.
Oh,
to get
he'll
to
nail
$40,000.
No, he'll nail Pat's math, no question. That's a hell of a DM from Chris. Wow, what a call!
Good call, McGinnis.
Good call.
Yeah.
What else you got for us?
You got anything stacked up, Retep? I got a couple more. I could dig for a sec. Retep, you got any?
Well, I mean, I got everything you guys got.
All right, I got one. Here we go.
Yeah.
Quinn, the cryptid guy, right? He sends a fair amount of DMs. He's a fun brostener. He said, "Did you guys see this? What are Forrest's thoughts?" And I'm gonna turn that over to the group. Worst TV show idea ever, or could you have hooked up with someone when you're sleep deprived and been without toilet paper for weeks? And the show that he's referring to is Discovery Channel's new Naked and Afraid of Love. It's
That's
Naked
an
and
interesting
Afraid
one.
turned dating show. Retep, your thoughts?
Well, so I think somebody's been asked this question in an interview from Naked and Afraid, and they literally were just repulsed. They were like, absolutely not. It's the last thing on my mind when I'm out there trying to survive. Like, zero sexual feelings. I mean, I think if you were just like a beast out there, like Laura and that guy she was with who just dominated, I mean, they might end up fucking because they're out there just thriving. eating food. They have a beautiful shelter built.
You know what, Forrest, why don't you call Laura live on the air right now and see if she agrees with what Retep just said in the same terminology he just said it.
My thoughts are that if you're thriving out there.
Hey, Laura, Retep just figured that, the guy you're with's a beast and you guys are going to start fucking. You? Yes or no? You hot or cold on this idea?
Yeah.
No, my thought is just that, like if you're out there thriving and you're fucking just crushing it, you have enough food, you don't have to worry about anything. You got a nice, soft leaf bed in a covered shelter. You're not worried about dying. Why wouldn't you fuck?
Okay.
But 99% of them won't, I would say.
Yeah, and since you have never been... You've never stayed in anything less than a 4-star hotel room.
Except for that motel we stayed at in Santa Barbara.
In Santa Barbara,
my pizza.
Yeah, it was disgusting. Forrest. So, Forrest, what do you think? Naked and Afraid dating? I mean, you've done Naked and Afraid.
Look,
could you have felt amorous towards your partner?
Look, should I get deep on the pod for a second?
Yeah, baby.
Look, I was arguably with the probably the hottest girl that's ever been on the show, right? Like she was very attractive physically. Mentally she was a dud. No, listen, I'm gonna tell you guys straight. Physically, she was hot. I was like, damn, this is very surprising. Get out there. Hour 1 through 4, you're like, I could totally do this. Like, she's hot, I'm here, we're naked, whatever. Like, cameras are leaving later, we'll see what happens. This is honest to God what I was thinking. Not that it was gonna happen, but you're a guy, it's back of your mind thoughts. You're like, yeah, this is a thing. She's cute, whatever. Then you're 4 hours in, you're already covered in filth because you've been building a shelter. Like, you've seen it all. You know what I mean? Like, you've seen it. There's nothing more to see. You've seen her bend over to hack something, and you're like, ugh, I didn't really need to see that. Like, you've seen her, slap herself in the face with a tit while she's, grabbing something. You've seen my bundle get scraped across a pile of bamboo while I'm latching stuff. Like, you've seen it all at 4 hours in. And at that point, there's no mystery left. None. There's nothing. There's no... What would it be like? What would it feel like? Who is that? Nothing. It's just yuck. You're just like, yuck. I watched you bend over and pick that thing up. You're butt naked. You saw me scrape my genitals on a rock 10 seconds ago. Yuck. Like, I don't want to touch you. You don't touch me. There will be none of this from here on out. And that's it. It takes 4 hours and you're just like, ugh, woof. No. Like, not even 21 days from now after we've showered and all that. No, because the mystery's gone. It's gone. Right. I've seen it. I know what's there. I'm good. I don't need to touch.
You smelled it. You've
everything, man. It just goes downhill from there. Yeah, no, it's not good. So I say no.
Shelter in a hole.
I say no.
Do you think that there will be love connections? It sounds like you're thinking no. Well, I mean there have to be, otherwise it'll be a disaster, right?
I'm thinking no on the premise of 21 days of hardcore survival with two people that have nothing in common that are shoved into a difficult situation.
Pun intended.
And you're naked, which is gross, by the way. If you're clothed, if you're clothed, literally, if I'm clothed and have a bar of soap, it's a different ordeal. I'm like, okay, there's some mystery. I wonder what's going on under that shirt. By the way, I'm gonna go take a river bath and smell like a champ. Like, let's see what happens. But the nakedness, the fact that I'm sure in the Naked Afraid of Love, they're going to give them things. They're going to have backpacks with stuff in it because they're not survivalists. They're just people, I imagine.
Okay. And they'll probably give them they'll probably do competitions where they could win a romantic treat.
I imagine there's going to be something.
The bowl of tater tots.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely, you guys know this. It's going to be produced in a way where, of course, there's going to be connections, whether or not they're real or what everything's real is going to be up in the air. It must be.
Anyway, I just, the concept of being in the situation I was in with anybody romantically is yuck. Like, to the point that I'm like, how did humans actually become the dominant species on the planet? Because why were cavemen and women humping? Because that's just revolting. Don't do it. Gross.
Well, if you want to see something revolting, we should rewatch how you introduce yourself to your partner on Naked and Afraid.
That was delightful. Thank you very much.
Repugnant, and I'd venture to say, if we look at it from her perspective, she only was mortified by you, and that really put her off, and that's why you guys didn't get along. You really fucked that up,
and that's fair.
But then you got
Dave.
fat on jungle potatoes and she quit. So
Dave sent us a TikTok and said, "Is this true? Do we really not know where eels come from?" So a guy posted a TikTok named Cole the Science Dude, where he sort of explained, we have no idea where eels come from. It's this whole convoluted thing. I'll tell you, I know a bit about it, right? So basically, the context of this, and Forrest, you and I have talked about this before on the podcast, this idea that people don't really know much about eel mating, but we have this idea that North American and European eels go way, 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 way out into the ocean. They lay these weird little glass see-through looking things, and those things elvers journey thousands of miles and swim up rivers, and that's where they live. What he's really referencing is the fact that it's never been witnessed, right? So no one. It's all a matter of inference by science. It's not a behavior that's been actually documented, in the sense of they think that North American and European eels both travel to this place called the Sargasso Sea, which is just north of it's north of the Bermuda Triangle, right? In the Caribbean.
Yep, I'm looking at it now. Got it.
Total side note: the Sargasso Sea. I just we did an episode about it in a show I did for Nat Geo last year. It's really cool. Sargasso stands for sargassum, which you know what that is, Forrest?
The seagrass.
Sargassum?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. So the Sargasso Sea is basically like a cyclone current. And what it causes is basically a doldrums. So it was a place where if you got, so the sargassum just piles up, ships would get stuck. At one point, they did a survey in the late 1800s, and there was, I think, 2,000 or 1,600 ghost ships just sitting in the doldrums, stuck in sargassum, where the crew probably all died a long time ago.
Right. Wow.
So they think the eels go to the Sargasso Sea, and that's where they lay their elvers and mate. But no adult eels have ever been documented there. So it's all a matter of inference, and we don't really know exactly what the deal is. What's your take on this, Forrest?
Well, I think that's interesting. I mean, we've never seen a great white shark give birth, but we're not like, hey, they materialize out of the haze. You know what I mean? Like, we know that they give birth. That's true. Yeah. But, so, I mean, I think that the location-specific information is interesting, and I'm curious what they're basing that on, whether that's, maybe they're finding sargassum in the elvers' bellies or DNA from that region that's unique to something. I mean, who knows? So I think that information's interesting. I'm sure if they're speculating that, there's a good reason behind it, but it's cool. I mean, I feel like the clickbaitiness of like, we don't know where eels comes from is a lot more appealing than being like, hey, yeah, eels breed in this deep place that's really hard to get to and we haven't seen it.
Right.
So it's
that's lame. You don't know social media.
Yeah.
But let me say this. What's cool about it is anytime there's a mystery that's still a mystery in the animal kingdom, it's cool. Yeah.
It's great. It's great. We think we know everything. As human beings, we think we've got it all dialed. And by the way, like the average person who knows nothing thinks that we as a species know everything about animals. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you go talk to a guy on the street, random guy, walk up to him and be like, hey, do we know every animal in the world? They're going to be like, of course. They think we know everything. And I'll be like, can you name 5? He'll be like, dog, cat, turtle? He's not going to know it, but he thinks that like the arrogance of human nature is that is the assumption that we know everything, which is just preposterous.
On that note, I got a question. Do you guys know what motivates beavers to build their dams?
What motivates them? Like why they choose to build dams?
Why do they do it? Yeah.
Because they want a shelter.
Forrest? It's really interesting.
I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, they use them for shelter. They use them for reproduction. I mean, the reason they chop down trees for their teeth and blah, blah, blah. But no, I don't know. Tell me why.
Get this. So they build their dams as an instinct to stop the sound of water leaks. Can you fucking believe that?
So they don't like the sound of rushing water?
So they did an experiment and they just played the noise out of a speaker. And the speaker sound will cause them to build a dam over it, even if it's over concrete with no visible water. How fucking crazy is that?
Because the dam creates a little pond inside of the dam, and then they live in that still pond. Interesting.
I don't know if you're seeing the slow clap, but it's been 73 episodes, and you just brought something to the table. Like, that's huge. That's huge. Like,
we do guys. Mark it down.
15 hours of Patreon episodes. So.
We do a wildlife show. 73 episodes in. I'm not kidding. You just blew my mind. That's fucking awesome.
Peter, you should get a 73 tattooed right on that big pasty white forehead of yours.
Do it, dude.
Here's the thing. I'm going to get a tattoo that says damn on this cheek and Beaver on this cheek. So fuck everybody.
That's great.
Damn Beaver.
I'll tell you what, though. The only reason that I have not come up with any facts, because trust me, I go through fucking Reddit constantly and just save stuff. But then when I'm on the air, it's just like I'm just scrolling through my phone. It's like, fuck that, dude. I'm so lazy.
Whatever, man. I'm not trying to make fun of you. That's super interesting.
Forrest,
seriously.
How about this? 73 episodes, and I've not seen you once eat Taco Bell, you fucking little bitch.
It's true. It's been years.
Wow.
Years.
Wow, Peter.
Hey, I have an idea. I have an idea. You ready?
Ooh.
The next in-studio session, I say we spend $40 on Taco Bell and do a tasting live on Patreon.
Oh,
no, I'm serious.
Good. That's a
Let's
good
do a
try.
live Taco Bell tasting on Patreon. Patreon.
That's a great idea because I want to eat that.
And I haven't had. I'm not kidding. I think the last time I had Taco Bell, I was 17 years old.
There's be an edit here. Is he stopped for you?
Shit,
He's frozen.
Good. You guys there?
Okay. So this is 24.
He's frozen. Hey, you just froze for a good minute there.
Good, you're back. I thought I'd lost you guys.
We're here.
Should we just pick it up from here?
Just say the last time you've eaten Taco Bell, because the last time I've eaten Taco Bell.
I'm not kidding. I think the last time that I've eaten Taco Bell, I was 17 years old.
Lame. Was Taco Bell in existence 40 years ago? You're 57,
an old joke.
right?
I see what you're doing there. An old joke.
That's weird to make a joke to the youngest guy on the podcast. That's fascinating.
I mean,
I
he
liked
looks
it.
old.
Hey, by the way,
He's a ginger.
our zookeeper buddy Mason Kleist hit me up.
I owe Mason a
guy.
book. I got to send Mason the book. I told him I'd send him a book. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, you've been gone. He's understanding. But he sent me a correction from last week. Apparently, I fucked up during the Battle Royale and commented that the spider monkey arms would give my animal opposable thumbs, to which he responded,
Nope.
No thumbs.
He said, spider monkeys don't have opposable thumbs, mate. Their hands are shaped like hooks for gripping branches. They're one of a kind.
Did you say mate or did you say
Love
idiot?
that guy.
He said, mate.
Yeah,
and then I wrote back, fuck off and die, Mason. No, I didn't. I said, thanks,
God.
mate. I'll correct myself. Wait,
Yeah,
I didn't
good.
know this. Spider monkeys don't have opposable thumbs? This blows my
No,
mind.
he's right.
They're
He's
such
right.
nimble
That is.
climbers.
So
Yeah.
I was looking at the artist rendition of our last week's Battle Royale that I put up on the Instagram, and he drew thumbs. However, you're going to have to redo that one there, Tyler Owls. Because
No,
there are
it's legit
thumbs.
one of the only primates that don't have thumbs, by the way, which is very, very weird. And yeah, just you happen to pick one and drop the old opposable thumb game, which is fair because it's a primate. You'd think it would, but yeah, very weird.
So Beaumont25 commented on that artist rendition of the last Battle Royale, and he said, if Patrick doesn't choose something other than an elephant in the next Battle Royale, I'd be astounded. This guy goes for absolute size every week.
That's
Makes
not
me
true.
think
That's not
I'm
true.
I'm a size queen.
You're walking all over the punchline.
Oh,
Makes
sorry.
me think he is compensating for something.
Oh, I see what you did there.
It's not quite a punchline. It's more like a slap.
It's
Slap
a
line.
slight. It's a slight line.
Well, I'll tell you what. This little tease. I won't be picking an elephant, but we do have an elephant-themed battle royale.
Whoa.
Coming at you.
All right. I love that.
Wait, Peter, do you want to see me do a spin kick real quick?
Yeah, of course.
So much,
Always.
yes.
Always. Oh, my God. Now, let's narrate this. So he's standing up now. Oh, my God. I think he's trying to be Joe Rogan, except it was really poor form. Look great, man. Look great. Really good.
Thanks.
No, you're killing it, dude. That's amazing.
Forrest's face is purple. Forrest might die. For those who are not watching on YouTube, you keep listening because he may die on this podcast. He's got the giggles.
I'm not that drunk, but good for you, Patrick. I mean,
thanks,
you
mate.
know, you're doing it. Like, I'm so proud of you.
Felt
I will
good,
say,
sounded
though,
good.
It looked like it felt good, but you really are progressing nicely into your dad bod. I like that. That's real nice.
Well, I'll tell you what. 4 days on vacation, sugary drinks, just getting room
Stress.
service, flatbreads left and right.
No workouts. No workouts. 4 days, correct?
Did about an hour and a half at the driving range and played a very lazy 45 minutes of tennis. So no workouts. No, neither of those count.
Driving range is not like a calorie burner. It's a shoulder fucker upper. Like it does
100%.
nothing but make your shoulder very sore.
Tennis, though, tennis is a burner. I mean, if you're playing a hard game of tennis, you're drenched.
This was me
dude,
teaching the lady how to play tennis, so it was not
That
a
less so.
burner. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but still,
All right,
tennis
very good,
can be
very
a good
good.
one.
Forrest,
Guys,
before we get off the rails, man, give us one
we're
news
already
story,
there,
because
man.
you had a couple.
No,
that
that's
you
where
were
I was going.
What's in the
That's
news?
where I was going.
Sir, news from the underground.
All right, very good. What is in the news? So there's one that's floating around. I don't know if you guys have seen this or not. It's been everywhere. There was a tortoise in the Seychelles that was filmed preying on a hummingbird. Have you guys seen this at all?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but it's been sent 1,000 times in the Discord and on the Instagram, so I'm sure people are going to be stoked to hear our take.
So let's talk about it. Let's break it down. So in the video, if you haven't seen it, there you just see a tortoise. He's cruising along as a tortoise does, not at high speed. And it's not a hummingbird. It's some small species of, as I think it's a chick, actually. I think it's a chick of a tern, which is a seabird. And the bird starts, I don't have it in front of me, but it sort of starts like irritating the tortoise and kind of like pecking at his face. And the tortoise takes like a lunging bite at him. Okay? No big thing.
Well
Bird annoys tortoise bites bird, whatever. But then it continues. And the tortoise starts to make his advances, and this tern chick, as I believe it was, is just sort of not backing down because it's just a very small bird. And sure enough, the tortoise comes over, gobbles up the thing's head, crushes its head in its mouth. The chick falls off the log, and it just goes and chows the whole damn thing.
Oh, nice meal. I mean, yeah, this is what I would do too.
Well, so tell us.
But okay, why is this shocking?
Why is this weird? Yeah.
Right, I guess that's what people aren't getting here. Okay, this is an animal. This is a tortoise that is known to be exclusively vegetarian. They are herbivores. They are eat fruits and grasses and things like that. So to see this tortoise intentionally go and eat this chick is pretty bizarre.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, Forrest, the motivation obviously is the motivation that it was being annoyed by the chick and then had a bite and then was like, this isn't bad.
Absolutely not. If you look at it, it is undeniably hunting it, like chasing after it. And I think what this is, it goes back to something that we were talking about earlier, is the idea that we think we know everything, okay, about everything.
Well,
Right.
And you do, yes.
I'm not saying that the tortoises are the new alpha predator of the Seychelles, right? And like birds watch out. Like that's not the case.
Yeah.
But let me give you this in an analogy, okay?
Okay.
There was 2 or 3, and this is going to be weird for a lot of people, but I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to throw myself under the bus here. There were 2 or 3 months of my life where I did not want to eat meat cooked. I wanted to eat it raw. And I was eating like carpaccios and things like that. And then I was buying like really high quality burger meat and eating it with a spoon and A1 sauce uncooked because
What are you, a Navy seaman from the early 1900s?
Yeah. Like that sounds horrid.
Listen. So I found out later when I explained this to a friend who was a doctor that I, at that time, I want to say it was iron, but it might have been something else, likely had an iron or whatever it was deficiency. And so it was wiring my brain to tell my brain, hey, what's going to taste good it wasn't iron. I'm trying to remember what the hell it was that you get in raw meat that when you cook it, it goes away. But anyway, doesn't matter. No, I can't remember what it was. Anyway, it was wiring my brain to tell my brain that those things would taste good to get that deficiency to go away because I hadn't been eating enough of that because God knows where I'd been before that. And those things happen. That is an individual case, right? That doesn't mean like, hey, all human beings should eat raw meat now, right? And what I'm getting at is it's probably the same thing with this tortoise. It probably had a protein deficiency. It probably saw an opportunity to eat something that it hadn't eaten before. And maybe its brain was wired to go, hey, you need protein. You're not getting enough in the diet that you're being fed or that you're eating. Hey, here's a shiny bird. Maybe it's good to eat. I mean, maybe it's a deranged tortoise, but the point is we don't know everything. And it's interesting to see this kind of behavior. And you just never know.
Does thiamine ring a bell? Because that is the thing we get from meat that doesn't retain when it's cooked as well.
That must
iron
have been
and
what
zinc
it was.
retain very well. That's super interesting. I'll tell you what. I got a little animal mystery that ties in with what this story is here.
Okay.
It's a quick one. Get to the resort where we're staying in Scottsdale. Okay. So that's all the context you need. Where it's summer,
Scottsdale,
108
Arizona.
degrees, Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm like, before we even go drop the bags, been a 6-hour drive. I'm stressed out because I've been dealing with dog sitter crazy shit, peanut butter in the chicken's mouth.
What do you feed your dog besides your own dick?
And I say, let's just sit at this bar and have a quick beer. It's the inside bar that looks out at the pool, right? I see a falconer walking around with which I found out is called a ferruginous. Am I pronouncing that wrong? A ferruginous hawk.
Okay, so this guy's walking around with one of those on his arm?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a ferruginous hawk, which it turns out is because I became best friends with this guy, obviously, because I'm great. But it's the biggest.
Texting me. I love fucking meeting people on vacation.
Yeah, exactly. But it's the biggest hawk in North America. It's 2 feet tall. This hawk.
Holy
It's a big hawk, 50-inch wingspan. So anyway, he's got it.
Crazy.
I think, he's just there to do something fun. Like, this is a fun thing that, like, the kids that are staying at the resort, he does little hawk shows or whatever. That's not why he had the hawk. Why did he have the hawk?
He was
Peter,
hunting.
you go first. I think I know the answer, so you go first.
Man, so I'm going to say a 2-foot hawk that's huge. I legit think he was out there trying to catch some kind of fucking coyote or some kind of pest or something. That's my guess. He was hunting something.
Forrest, what do you got?
Pigeon problem. You got a pigeon problem at the resort. Close.
Very. You're both. I mean, Forrest is a little closer, but yes. So we then go drop our bags in the room, go out to the pool. Okay, they serve food. They serve drinks. Hawkeye is. I'll tell you what. This hawk needs to get his shit together. They need a few more hawks because the pool.
Oh, I know. Do I know? Can I guess one more time?
Yeah. Guess.
Seagull problem.
Bro, I would have traded one of this bird that they had the problem with for 15,000. I would let 5 seagulls loose in my room to get rid of one of these fuckers.
I'm really curious.
Dude, they have a bird there called the grackle.
Okay, I know what grackles are.
Man, they are. The name sounds like what it looks like. It's covered in it just looks greasy. It's got this zombie look to it. They're smaller. They're about the size of a pigeon, but svelter. They look.
Yeah, it looks like a starling.
It looks like a bird that the bad school in Harry Potter would do a spell to make them come out. They just look like they haven't showered. They're unkempt. They're vulgar, and I swear on my life,
they're unkempt.
They are the boldest animal I've ever seen. I mean, dude, there are rabid raccoons in upstate New York that are more timid than one of these grackles.
Wow. Wait,
Bro,
so this thing,
They came and took, I was holding my drink, and a grackle came and took the pineapple wedge.
Shut up.
Oh
no
my
way.
God.
I swear, dude, I have multiple
Scottsdale,
witnesses.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Dude, so this guy was there to fucking, as like an exterminator. This thing eats these
I think
grackles?
it scares them away. Like, he releases it every so often, and it scares the grackles off. But they're onto it, man.
Holy
they figured out the
shit.
pattern. The second that thing lands on the guy's arm, boom, grackle
They're back.
infusion. Yeah.
No
Listen,
way.
we talked about one time.
That's wild.
Somebody one time asked us, what's up with the fact that we still stock lakes the way we do with B-52 bombers just dropping baby trout into them?
Because it's rad.
Yeah, and so is this. I prefer this over any type of fucking electronic technological advancement. I want 20 of these guys walking around every resort I ever go to. Clearing out seagulls,
great.
clearing out assholes, fucking grackles, anything.
Well, dude, I'll tell you what. So last thing about this. So I'm talking to him. I'm like, oh, you're here tomorrow? He's like, oh, no, it's my wife's here tomorrow. It's, the bird, whatever the bird's name will be here. I'm like, oh, cool. I see her about 3-4 times that next day. Every time the bird's got his little leather helmet on that's blocking his vision. Yeah. And I'm like, what's going on with that hat? And she's like, well, there's this one lizard that keeps coming around and he's going to go nuts. She didn't release the bird once all day. So finally, after I'd had 5 or 6 drinks, I kind of walk up to her. I'm like, there's a lot of grackles over there. Might want to pop that helmet off, let him do some flights.
I'm sure she really appreciated that.
She loved it. She just kind of went, yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
So she didn't succumb to your request.
No, she didn't rip the helmet off and free the bird, sadly.
Dude, that is fucking wild, though.
Yeah, it was good fun. The grackles, I'm overblowing it a little bit because they would dissipate at you would get like an hour where there were no grackles, and then sometimes there would just be fucking thousands.
Then
but anyway,
back.
if you're
Hilarious.
only listening and not watching, Google grackle. It is a weird looking fucking bird.
Google grackle, guys.
Yeah.
I got a news story for once.
No way.
Episode 73. Here it comes. Everybody's fucking seen this. I posted to our socials the other
Dude,
day.
you're on fuego tonight. Let's see what you got. Don't blow it.
I'm not gonna blow it.
Okay.
Have you guys heard about the chick who got banned from the zoo after claims of an affair with this chimp?
No.
I think it's a
course not.
38-year-old. You guys really haven't seen this? It's everywhere.
No, have not seen it.
This woman, she's been going there 4 years, and this chimp I think is in his mid-30s, right? So a nice middle-aged chimp, and then. And so they banned her because it turns out that all of his social circle, the chimp's social circle basically were isolating him because of his relationship with this woman who would come every day for several hours and basically hang out with him. And she claims that they were in love. But
oh boy.
So what do you guys think? Forrest, do you think... I mean, is this a good thing, a bad thing? Now that she's banned.
What do you want me to say here, Peter? You want me to go on air and be like, no, it's great. Like bestiality's so spicy. Everyone should be doing it.
Let me clarify: will his chimp buddies accept him back into the social circle once she's gone?
Yeah. Forrest, what he wants to know is, will the chimps allow him back into the social circle?
I've had a few burrs. It's going good.
Oh boy, there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah,
okay.
There's a lot.
Patrick, why don't you take a pass? Then I'll jump in.
Okay, well, I didn't realize you were talking about A.D. Timmermans of Belgium, because of course I'd heard that story.
I don't even. That's right over my head. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
here's what I
the
would
woman,
say.
obviously.
I'm going to defer to you, Forrest, because here's the thing.
I thought 80
The
Timmermans
photos-
was 80 beers. Okay, go ahead.
The photos of A.D. Timmermans, who is this Belgian woman who got banned from the zoo, she is hysterically crying as if someone died, right? So whatever was going on in her head that allowed her to claim, one, she's in a romantic relationship with a chimp and that they're in love with each other, she's never going to see that chimp again.
Right.
That's gut-wrenching. So I feel bad for her, but I think what Retep was asking for us is this good? Should humans have intimate relationships with zoo animals?
No, this is not good. This is bad. The second she tries to bed that chimp, it's going to rip her face off. That's not good. Look. Nice, very nice. Look. I love my dog. Love him. I am not in love with my dog.
You wouldn't
I want to have.
What?
I will not have intercourse with my dog.
I believe
shall
this
not
is
do
the
it.
second time you've declared that on air. Are you trying to also compensate for something?
Well, how many times have we talked about bestiality on this show? Obviously more than once.
At least
Quite a few.
Yeah.
All right. So this thing will rip her face off.
No, but look, being serious here. I think the chimp will be fine. I think he'll go back to having chimp friends. Everything will be fine.
Okay.
Okay? I think
Even after 4 years of isolation?
I think he'll be fine because he's a chimp. He's not a person. I think that this woman is nuts. Does she love the chimp? Totally. Is she in love with him? Maybe, but she's fucked in the head because you shouldn't be in love with a monkey. Like it's gonna rip your face off, lady. And yuck. Like
so if this was Forrest, if this was a dog and the dog did actually love you back, would this be acceptable? Is what you're saying?
no, this is not acceptable. Don't have sex with other species. What do you get at?
Where was anybody talking about sex? Maybe this is a platonic type of love.
Well, I guess, yeah. I mean, that wasn't what was inferred when we started discussing this. But
he's hammered, dude. He doesn't even know. He doesn't know what's going on anymore.
Ultimately, what we've determined here from Forrest is that you should, in fact, get an annual membership to a zoo.
Yeah.
Pick the animal that you fancy the most.
Yeah.
And just form a relationship with it. Its buddies will take them back once you get banned.
And just smash your genitals against the glass. Like, see what happens. Like, have some fun while you're at it. Like,
dude, you've talked about scraping your genitals on bark and smashing them against glass so far in the podcast today.
Why are you picking on me tonight, Ratap? I'm trying to be fun over here. I've had a few drinks. Why are you picking on me?
When you get drunk, you're lightweight. You've had one or two drinks, I know, but you're hammered.
4.5.
You're not as quick-witted. Your cockiness, it goes down a little. It gives me openings to get in there and fucking razz you a bit.
I see that. That makes sense, to be honest. Yeah, also, I lose the edge.
You're a ginger, so
excuse me, sir.
You're a ginger. You have red hair.
How dare you? How dare you,
dude?
Real quick, Patep, could I get a jingle? Because I think we've derailed enough that it's time for a game.
Ooh.
Number 1, number 2, number 3. Yeah.
Dead fucking lost.
Top 3 in DFL. I don't know if this was Wild Times Willie or a brostener that came up with this. This is my favorite one ever.
Really?
Okay.
Your top 3 and dead fucking last accidental causes of death. What are the top 3 ways you would like to die as part of an accident, and the one that's the worst? Nice. I'm happy to go first since I picked it and put a little thought into it.
Yeah, do it. It's a thinker.
Okay. And here's the problem. You guys are both going to be thinking instead of laughing at my jokes.
No. You're good. You're good. Make your jokes.
Right.
Make your stupid jokes.
All right. So number 3. This is the third best way to die in an accident. I would like to be at a kid's birthday party where the parents are trying to impress everyone by having it be really expensive. And there's a thing that's going around. Yeah, very trendy at kids' birthday parties is they bring in an alpaca. They rent an alpaca and the kids can play with the alpaca. So I want to be standing close to the pool. I want the alpaca to charge me and sort of knock me off my balance, and I hit my head on my way of falling into the pool, and I drown in the pool while I'm unconscious and ruin
all the children.
Well, it's that I want to ruin the snooty parents' birthday party. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, that's... Okay. How's that number 3? There's no way you're coming up with 2 better than that.
I've got 2 better.
It also sounds pretty terrible. I mean...
I love that. I think it's hysterical.
It's good.
You're traumatizing a bunch of children. Hilarious. The rich parents are upset. Who are they going to sue? I don't know. What a dream.
The alpaca company?
What a dream.
Number 2. Now, this has always been high on the list for me, but it used to be number 4. Now it's number 2. I want to die as a tangential result of a plane crash. But what I'd like to have happen is that the plane crashes high up in the Andes Mountains. We survive. Okay? 20 to 25 people survive. Now it becomes a battle of wits to see who's going to outlast the others because the others are now food. right?
Sure.
The snow is going to preserve the flesh.
Yep.
I
got a little
There's
Donner
movie
Pass
about this
situation
called
going
Alive
on.
with Sylvester Stallone.
It's a Donner Party situation. I am the last man standing. I eat all of the other passengers, which really
Would you eat
builds
their
up my
butts first?
ego. Of course
Yeah.
I would. Yeah, I would go for that dark meat. And then fast twitch muscle, baby. And then I die of starvation after surviving a plane crash. Number one, this has been my favorite way to die.
Sounds miserable. Okay.
I've always wanted to die
this
this way.
is so elaborate. I was going to
It's
be like
very
trip
elaborate.
and hit my head.
Now listen, Forrest, I'm with you. We're not going to be this elaborate. Trust me.
All right. Well, I've got to bring.
let's hear number
I've got to
one.
bring something to the podcast.
It's
This has
good.
been since no joke, probably since middle school. I've thought this would be the funniest way to die. You're walking through Manhattan with your sweetie. It's Christmas time. You're on your way to go see the tree at Rockefeller Center. There's a light dusting of snow, but the air is just crisp, not too cold. And all of a sudden, you get splatted by a gargoyle that's fallen off a building. And
Nice.
it just splats you.
Nice.
I think that's my top three. So DFL. Nifty,
DFL.
all bullshit aside, this has like given me cringy nightmares. Have you guys, Forrest, you've had some experience climbing around on glaciers, right?
Yeah, sure have.
Are you familiar with a Mulan or a Moulin?
No.
Or a Mulan?
I'm not.
So basically, in Greenland, the Mulan is like the thing you're the most scared of. And because as we'd be crossing the ice sheet and stuff, you would see these Mulans. And what they are, and I'm sure I'm saying it wrong, but it's basically a tube that vary in size, but a lot of them are like maybe, I don't know, 2 feet in diameter. And these are just tubes from how the ice forms that just drop down. And you can look down in one and it's endless.
Yeah.
And it's
I'm
a very
looking at
real
them
possibility.
online now. I've seen them. I didn't know the name of it. Yeah.
And sometimes
Very cool.
you can follow a Mulan and it like just cuts under the ice down like 30 feet. And then you can sort of see where it cuts in to the glacier. Mm-hmm. And, that's the whole reason why you rope together when you're crossing the ice sheet. Because if someone falls in one of those Mulans,
You're gone.
you're going to have the fun water slide. And then you're stuck underneath a glacier with no chance of anyone getting you out. That's the dead fucking last.
That's nightmarish.
Okay.
That's absolutely nightmarish.
Let me go second just to get this
Go
over
for
with.
it, man.
Yeah,
Go for it.
Pat's obviously been contemplating this for many decades.
Clearly.
Also, just fantastic storyteller. Mine are going to be more just premises of things. There won't be these elaborate ways and contraptions and stories. But there will be an underlying theme to all the ways that I want to go 1 through 3. And then DFL will be different. But so number 3, straight up, I would just like to be laying peacefully in my bed and perhaps a brown recluse or another very poisonous spider just scurries into my mouth and I swallow it and I never wake up. Sounds
That's
great.
not how that works, but okay.
Yeah, the venomous spiders don't poison you when you eat them.
Maybe it will lay eggs in my mouth in the middle of the night. They'll all hatch and I'll be poisoned times a million. Perfect.
I hope that happens.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be awesome.
So second, and I've thought a lot about this in my day since I've been about 15. Just straight up fucking alcohol poisoning. It'd be great. I mean, you feel great. You're having a great fucking time for the evening. You go to sleep again, never wake up. Perfect.
Yeah.
Number 2.
By the way, they say if you die while you're doing what you love, that's a good way to go. And
That's
Retep
true.
likes to cocktail.
Yeah, that is true.
Akin to that, but not exactly that. My number 1 way to go would be on like a nice cruise, around the world cruise. That one that costs $70,000, almost
okay.
a year. That one that's super. And then in a similar fashion, I'd like to be just blackout drunk, maybe somewhere in Greenland or the Arctic or wherever the water is very cold, and then just kind of. I'll be blacked out. I'll fall over the railing into the freezing cold water and just never wake up. So
That sounds wonderful.
It sounds pretty pleasant if you ask me.
By the way, yours were pretty creative after you pooped on yourself there.
Seriously, those weren't bad at all. I'm very curious why 2 of the 3 are just about getting really drunk. But we'll address that at a later time.
Okay, let me ask you this: what do they do? What do they do when you're in hospice? Right? They try to make you as comfortable as can be while you die. It's essentially my version of hospice. Is just getting. Inebriated.
That's an idea. All right, DFL.
What are you scared of?
My DFL friends. I worked at a place called Cub Foods. It's a grocery store back in the day. And every day I would have to go into this back room and put these boxes into a contraption that smashes them down very slowly, a compactor.
Oh, boy.
And every time I went in there, I was like, I could easily fall in there and I would have it would just keep coming and it would be the worst 30 seconds of my life as I slowly, friends, was crushed to death in a trash compactor. And that's my dead fucking last.
Yeah, nobody wants that. That sounds absolutely awful.
You don't think the machine would have been like, object too fat, can't crush?
Oh boy! All right, very good, very good. All right, top 3 accidental causes of death.
And I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but this is someone talking who is definitely going to die because of an interaction with wildlife.
And
that's fascinating to me. So I'm excited.
It's very helpful, and mine are all personal feelings as well. So yeah, thank you. That's very, very nice, Patrick. Top 3. Oh boy. Okay, so coming in 3rd place, it's an obvious one for me. It's snake bite. It would just be terrible. The mine are not fun and like lighthearted. I would be like, okay, this if I have to go 3rd to last, this is it. Right? Does that make sense?
Why is that? Now,
venomous. Now, which snake would you like to be bitten by? Which type of toxin?
I wouldn't like to be any. That's my whole point. This is the bottom of the barrel. But if I have to go, no, I get how the game works. I'm just explaining. If I have to go, and this is what's going to happen, accidental death, it at least put me out with a snake. Like, it just seems fitting. I fiddled with all of them. You know what I mean? I don't know if there's one that's going to hurt less than the others. Like, is there a sleepy snake that I can get? Because that would be...
That just makes you feel like you were shot up with heroin. That'd be great.
Right. Yeah. The heroin snake. Oh, you don't have to pick snake. You don't have to pick a snake. We get it. Venomous snake.
Can we make
it makes
that?
sense.
Can we breathe that into existence? The heroin snake? It'd be great.
That sounds a treat. Number 2, and this is one that I used to... So when I was younger, I really, really wanted to be like a very competitive rugby player. I wanted to play professionally. I was too busy chasing animals and I wasn't that athletic. So those 2 things didn't help. But I always thought, how fucking cool would it be to be a professional rugby player? And when I was like, do you remember when PCP was a thing? People were talking about PCP.
Angel dust.
Yeah.
Trading
it sounded,
places.
when I was like 17, 18, it sounded fantastic. And I'll tell you why. Here's my number 2 accidental death. Because I had this idea that maybe one day I would just OD on PCP and run onto the rugby field. Because this was back when I thought PCP basically just gave you superpowers and you couldn't feel pain. And I would just go onto the rugby field and just smash everybody and OD on PCP. But go out a champ. Like, just go out on top. You're getting the ball. You're running through everybody. Your arms are flailing behind you because they're both broken. Your neck's askew. Like, your head's on your shoulder, but you don't care. You're not feeling it. You're on PCP.
I like it.
Your neck's askew.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're
Because
on so much PCP.
you're smashing so hard in this game that you're also, your femur's broken, your ankle's twisted backwards.
Everything. Yeah.
But you don't know.
Superhuman.
Your ribs are literally puncturing your lungs. You're so smashed. But you're so high on PCP. You're just scoring score after score. Everybody's like, have you seen Forrest out there? There's not one guy that can stop him. Like, he just bit a guy's face off in that last tackle.
His head's fucking over here. Just
His head is dangling to the side, and he's still running the ball in every play.
I really like this for you. I like this for you a lot.
It's a good one.
Yeah, thank you. And my number 1, and this is a true story, because this happened, swear to God, at least according to my mother, this happened to like my great uncle. So my family's originally British, right? Like before they moved to Africa and spread out all over the world, they're from England. And my great uncle, or whatever he was sitting at a high tea when underneath a greenhouse when a pane of glass dislodged from the heat within the greenhouse, slid down and perfectly decapitated him in full black tie.
God.
In full black tie at a high tea with 100 people around. True story. Happened to my uncle. Head rolled off on the table. Glass shattered.
Wait, was that your number one? That's your number
That's
one?
my number one.
Yeah, that's number one. So what's your DFL?
This is to have that happen again. I just think that would be like, it's like a family tradition at that point.
I also like that because it's unexpected. So you're just dead. Again, it's the same thing as never waking up. Like just you're there and then gone. You never knew.
Maybe not as
Fantastic.
fun as the PCP rugby game, but still pretty solid.
Not as fun.
DFL.
The worst way to go.
It's my nightmare. I mean, it's something I'm terrified of, quite frankly, being buried alive. So I'm like caving. I'm in a tube. I'm in a pinch. I'm in a squeeze. No. I don't know what happens. There's an earthquake. You know, some Mitchell's yelling because he stubbed his toe in the background, and the seismic activity of his noisy ass is making things shift. And I'm just getting buried alive, and not quickly. It's not like boom, dump of dirt, and out of breath. It's like you're feeling the earth like cover you, and you're watching it black out bit by bit.
Oh my God! Stop!
It's my nightmare.
Please stop. People have stopped listening already. When you told that story about when you use the rope to go down into the water and you go into caves under there, and then it fucking was just that one story where it went black and you lost the rope for a minute. I was literally like, this is my nightmare. Here you are. But here you are saying it's the worst way to go, yet you put yourself in situations where this might actually happen to you. No, dude.
So far I just worked my way out of it, but I just don't want that to happen.
Man,
it won't.
I think it will.
Snakebite
think
will.
It will. Yeah.
You guys suck.
But, dude, guys, on the heels of that, I just came up with a great business plan. I think it's going to make us millions. All right?
Let's hear it. I'm in.
It's very simple.
Say no more. Take my money. I'll invest.
Agreed.
Wait, no.
Yeah.
We're going to make venomous snakes, but instead of venom, we're going to somehow get them to, like we said, bite and produce heroin. And then we sell them to junkies and dealers. Can this be done, Forrest? Can it be done?
100% by science, yes.
Like we can breed a viper with a heroin syringe and we'll have these snakes, or what?
That's an interesting... So here's something real quick. So rattlesnake venom is like extremely potent bee venom, right? I don't know if anybody knew that.
I did not know that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's very similar. And bee venom is used to treat arthritis. Right? So if you look at it that way and you're like, hey, if you took the right components within rattlesnake venom, you could treat arthritis with the snake bite. What's to say that we can't find ourselves a little blow snake, a little cocaine snake, and you just you make them, you just get them all hopped up, and who knows what happens. I don't know how this stuff works. Yeah.
Forrest, you're not taking me seriously. I want to know, can a snake be bred to bite and release heroin? Can it be done?
I don't know the answer to that, Retep. But you know what?
God damn it.
Yes. I'm going to say yes. I'll tell you why. Here's why. Are you ready? Here's why. I'll tell you why.
I'm ready, baby. I've been ready all my life.
Tarica turosa, the California rough-skinned newt, has a very toxic poison in its skin, right? It has skin glands that are toxic. Now, when a garter snake eats enough of those, it starts to actually acquire, through bioaccumulation, venom that is semi-potent because it's eaten enough of these garter snakes. So what I'm saying is all we need to do is get garter snakes and get heroin and feed them a lot of heroin and then start having them bite you, Retep, and you'll get heroin snakes.
I'm in. Listen, all right, I'm going to get this started. What do we got next? I got to get out of here soon. I got to work on this.
Battle Royale jingle, mate. I dare you.
I think I know what time it is.
What time is it?
Do you know what time it is?
For what?
I love it.
Denon at Denon_02. Battle of the Giants. Thank you for this. He says, Battle of the Giants. You must pick the head, body, legs that are of three animals that are all smaller than an elephant. But when you combine them, they will be the size of an elephant.
Oh, that's
It's a
fine.
fight
Each
till
body
death.
part? Or the whole thing combined? Okay,
The whole
gotcha.
thing
whole thing
combined has
combined
to be
becomes
the size of an
elephant-sized.
elephant. But each of the three animals needs to be a little smaller than an elephant on their own. So it's a fight till death. It takes place in the middle of Manhattan. The winner takes all. I like it. I like it because it precludes me from just picking an elephant.
It does.
Which apparently the Brosteners hate. Forrest, why don't you go first? Because I have to
It's
think.
going to be tough.
I have to think.
Okay. I'm going to go body of a bombardier beetle. So if you remember the bombardier beetle, I think we've discussed it before, is an acid shooting beetle. Now you scale that up to the size of an elephant, you're talking hundreds of gallons of acid coming out the backside of that beetle, elephant sized. You're going to melt skyscrapers.
Let me ask you a
Jesus
question
Christ.
here. I need clarification.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah,
Are
I
we
got you. I came in hard.
Are we trying to? So, do our three body parts have to actually equal the size of an elephant? Is that what we're saying?
No, I thought it was just any three animals and then scaled up to be elephant sized. Am I
Is that
taking
what
that
it
wrong?
is?
That's what I think we should go with. Even though
Did
that's
I
not
mess
what I
it
was
up?
thinking. No, that's correct. That is correct.
Bird. Okay, that's fine. So that's good. That's much easier for me. I'll
Sorry,
say
I
that.
might have butchered that, but now that's how
it's
we're
all good.
playing.
That's how we're doing it, baby.
Yeah.
All right.
Pat,
You want to go?
No,
okay,
you're
I'm
up,
up.
mate. Yeah,
Okay, man. Well, listen, I haven't picked my favorite animal to pick in a while, so I'm going with the
Herpes.
the legs and limbs of my friend.
No, limbs are separate, dude. What's wrong with
different.
you?
It's different. Same as
you
always.
know how a battle royale works. Head, body, legs.
Legs, whatever. Shut the fuck up. Limbs and legs are the same thing. What are you babbling
Yeah, but
about?
you said body.
You said body.
No.
You said.
I'm going with
you
the
said.
limbs, the tentacles of an octopus, gentlemen. Okay?
Okay.
It will have fucking 8 arms, limbs, tentacles, whatever you want to call them. And they will
At
be the
elephant size, that's
of
terrifying.
an elephant trunk. That's
terrifying.
right. Each
Terrifying.
one size of an elephant's
It's
trunk.
a good pick. It's a good pick.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well,
You
I'm
got
gonna just.
news. You got good
I was
picks on
just
the
trying to
BR.
buy himself more time.
No, I'm gonna win right now. I'm gonna take the limb. I'm gonna start with my limbs because
Okay.
once I scale these up to be the size of an elephant, this is truly terrifying. I'm taking the limbs of a mantis shrimp and the punch power.
Ooh.
It's
Wow.
ridiculous.
I don't like
mean,
that.
you've seen when in the early Superman movies where he punches someone and they fly up into the atmosphere. That's my math says that's what would actually happen if something the
math
size of an
says that.
elephant had the punching power of a mantis shrimp. So that's going
fantastic.
to be. Thank you. That's going to be my
I
legs.
literally
Friend. What else, friend?
no. I literally think that would be like a superhero movie where like the X-Man screams and the whole world like vibrates. You know what I'm talking about? Like that's what
Right.
it'd be insane.
That's what would happen.
Yeah.
Then
Pat, your second
Yeah.
pick.
I want to really, I don't know why I want this so badly, but I want the body to be sort of the torso of popular actor Jason Momoa. I want pecs and chest hair and like attractive abs and a tan because I've already got this punch power. And so I want to make mine sort of humanoid because after I win this battle royale in Manhattan, I'm going to sell this thing as an attraction. And I want people to sort of be like, oh, it kind of looks like me.
Such an expletive piece of shit.
It's so weird.
All right.
We'll let the Brosters
Forrest,
decide, guys.
or is this me? This is me again?
Nope.
Okay.
You're next.
All right. Guys, my head, face, mouth, whatever you want to call it, will be that of a chameleon. That's right. It has the longest tongue in the animal kingdom and one of the fastest muscles in the animal kingdom. Now, I'm obviously reading from Google, and I didn't know this until just
Clearly.
now. It extends more than twice its body length, and get this, packs 14,000 watts of power per kilo. So you guys are fucked. It's going to be the longest. It's going to circumnavigate the globe at least 5 times, and very powerful. It's going to be bigger than Earth itself.
What are you basing all of this information on?
I just read it on fucking Google, science.com.
All All right.
Sciencemag.org.
Very strange. This
All right.
is bizarre.
Very odd pick.
I got octopus fucking tentacles, 8 arms, and then I have a chameleon tongue that is going to fucking produce 14,000 watts of power per kilo for the size of this animal. So when this animal is inevitably the size of an elephant, you guys are fucked. This is going to be able to take down skyscrapers.
It's definitely going to tickle us with its tongue. No doubt about it. It's going to be very ticklish.
Smash you and your families with its tongue.
All right. That's something. I'm up. I'm going to go for the limbs, specifically the flighted appendages of a dragonfly. Now, think of the way a dragonfly flies with those crazy beating wings on top of a...
First form of flight on Earth.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So I've got the weird legs. I've got the crazy sort of helicopter wings of a dragonfly on this bombardier beetle's body, which is shooting acid. Now, this is all scaled up to be the size of an elephant. And what's the worst kind of pollution? I'll tell you what it was, because I went to UC Santa Barbara and lived in Isla Vista. It's noise pollution.
Noise pollution.
It's the worst. So I'm giving myself the head of a howler monkey. All right.
We are howler monkey fans on this podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Imagine that scaled up to elephant head size. Like, imagine the sound amplification of just that, just like. Oh my! I think your head would just explode from the sound.
If my animal's tongue can take down a skyscraper, your howler monkey is going to destroy every window in that skyscraper
it's going to be awful. So yeah, it's a hellish looking creature, but you got sound, you got acid, you got flight. I mean, it's a mess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Peter?
All right. So, gentlemen, I'm left with the body, and surprisingly, nobody has given their creature the power of flight yet.
What? Were you listening a second ago?
What?
Literally 1 second. What are my appendages?
I don't know. Anyway, so my animal...
He's got dragonfly wings, boy.
We just talked about this, like, in depth.
I've been Googling my animal the whole time. Shut the fuck up. But I do like the howler monkey head. I can't...
Thank you.
I just can't process 2 animals at once. I can only
understood.
Take one.
It's a lot.
Okay, so I am going to have the body, wings, and obviously diving ability of the peregrine falcon. So you're going to have an animal with the fastest, largest tongue in the world, strongest tongue, mixed with an 8-tentacled lower half, size of an elephant, remember. And then the body of a peregrine falcon, which can dive up to 380 kilometers per hour. Yes, I used kilometers because I'm looking at Google.
You don't... You know what? Look, that is even uglier than my creature. I mean, the body of a peregrine falcon,
more deadly.
8 octopus tentacles, and the head of a chameleon. I mean, it's
a mess. It's a mess.
You're a mess.
I can't picture it.
So, look, I have a mantis shrimp punch power, which my math says if scaled up to the size of a 13,000-pound elephant, would generate more newtons each time it punched in energy than 200 of the atomic bombs that we dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
I don't know if that's accurate, Pat's math, but that's devastating.
He's literally not been engaging because he's been Googling for the past 10 minutes.
I've been doing the math.
No, he's been doing Pat's math.
I've been doing a bunch of
Pat's math.
So anyway, I've got Jason Momoa's very attractive shirtless body, and he now has these shrimpy arms that can generate more power than 200 atomic bombs. So I don't need any more fierce power. What I need is
anything.
What I need now is I need him to be a tactician, because again, when one is fighting against 2, which my creature will be doing, the brain power is going to be a big thing. So I'm going to take one of the most brilliant tacticians of all time, Napoleon Bonaparte, the famous Navy.
2 humans?
The head and brain of Napoleon. Now, Napoleon...
not the stature, however.
No, I don't want the stature. Now, Napoleon was a great military commander.
Unacceptable.
But
ridiculous.
But hang on. He was a great military commander and tactician. But did you know that the reason there are buttons on the sleeves of a men's suit coat is because Napoleon invented it? Here's why. He was sick of watching his Navy sailors wipe their noses on their sleeve. And so he said, I'll put these buttons on the sleeve.
I'm interested in this, Forrest. This is ridiculous.
He said, I'll put buttons on the sleeve. They'll stop wiping their noses. It'll still look attractive, and Bob's your uncle.
Yeah. I mean, it's absurd. You pick two humans in an animal battle royale game, and I cannot accept that.
It's brilliant. He's the guy. I don't need anything else. Got a brilliant tactician, an attractive male body.
Yeah, so Pat picked two humans and one animal in a battle royale that's supposed to be all animals. So,
but in fairness, like the idea, if Pat's math is correct and a single mantis shrimp scaled up to the size of an elephant is the same as 6 atomic bombs or whatever he said, that's the end of the world if he fires once.
But why am I not getting credit for my 14,000 watts of power per kilogram on my fucking animal's head?
No, you
on my
should.
Body.
I think you should. I just don't know that that's world ending because it's like a giant sticky hand.
No, the Earth can't even hold that amount of weight up. It will just fall into the abyss and destroy everything. That's right.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Well, let's let the brosteners decide. Why don't you guys weigh in? Let us know on iTunes. If you're listening on iTunes, let us know on YouTube. Come hang out on the Patreon. We do this thing on Patreon. We do it twice a week. We have more studio stuff there. It sounds like we're going to do a live Taco Bell tasting over there.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
We are. I'm really excited about that.
That's what the rest of the Patreon will be from now on.
It's just live Taco Bell
tasting. New items, food reviews.
Leave us a review. Let us know who won the Battle Royale. Is it Patrick's Jason Momoa, Napoleon Bonaparte, mantis shrimp creature? Because maybe. Sounds terrifying. Is it Peter's chameleon head on a peregrine falcon body with octopus limbs? I mean, I literally don't know what that looks like because it's such a goddamn train wreck, but it sounds awful.
Right, and keep in mind the peregrine falcon body is just a useless body with no wings because the appendages are octopus.
Whatever I said, I can dive at 340
Not when it
kilometers
can't fly.
with very tentacles and a ridiculously powerful, strong, long tongue, mouth, and head.
Doesn't have wings, can't fly.
2 humans in an animal battle royale. Ridiculous.
Can't fly.
Or is it my bombardier acid-shooting beetle the size of an elephant with dragonfly wings and legs and a howler monkey's head? I think the worst part there is definitely the sound. Let us know. Weigh in. Peter, do the thing.
He's frozen again. Oh, there he is. He said good night. We got it. We got the tag out.
I'm here.
Listen,
I'm here.
Guys, first of all, please leave us a comment about, on a scale from 1 to 10, how drunk you think Forrest has been throughout this podcast.
It's like a 2.
And then after you're done rating him, go to the wildtimespodcast.com/info for all the links to everything. And seriously, check out the fucking Patreon. We're doing things like Extinct or Alive memorable moments where Pat and Forrest break down the entire 2 seasons full of episodes, talk about their favorite, most memorable moments. Darwin Awards, all the shit you guys fucking love that we can't put on YouTube or we'll get sued for because we can't talk about is on the Patreon. And that is all at the wildtimespodcast.com/info. Direct link to the Patreon, patreon.com/wildtimespod. And quick shout out to my man Kyle Fitzgerald at Kyle Fitzgerald _ at the end of his name, has been helping me a shitload with a lot of the editing and the tedious bullshit with the podcast. Check him out. He's fucking awesome. He takes pictures, he shoots shit, and he edits.
If you want to see some of his pictures, go check it out.
Yeah, that's true.
Play the outro.
Beep. Wild times.
Nice. Forrest, enjoy that Lou Malnati's deep dish tomorrow, son.
Oh, I'm going to eat so much pizza and get so fat.
You're going to feel like shit.
I'm going to do 3 push-ups and eat a gallon of pizza.
Jungle potato fat. Good night.
Good night. Look at Patrick pulling a Captain Morgan over there.
Absolutely.
Yuck.
He's got a dope dad bod. Look at those shorts. Are those shorts?
Yeah, the shorts are nice. The shorts are really nice.
Look
What are you
expensive.
talking about, Dad bod?
Wild times.